in the today's lecture, we start with the next Radix 2 algorithm, that is decimation in frequency, or in short, DIF FFT algorithm. So as we have discussed, DIF, F
Excuse
means
me, sir.
frequency. Yes.
So I have a doubt in the last class about that W2N.
Yeah, just a second. Let me show you that slide.
Yeah.
At this location, you raise the doubt, huh? Ekta?
So in the butterfly diagram, yeah.
Yeah, this one now. Omega n 0 and omega n 2. Okay. So here, if you here nothing but omega n. Here omega n is nothing but we are talking about the initially we are doing the 2-point DFT. So here in this particular case, n is equal to 2, and here you to take the first term, that is omega n is equal to 0. Then after in this second case, we are doing the 4-point DFT. So first term is omega n raised to 0 and omega n raised to 2. In this case, whatever 0 and 2, in few of the books I have checked that as per the Prokias I am talking to you, here omega n 0 and omega n 2. When you apply the value, here you are taking the one value and here you are getting minus j. So when you apply this algorithm and you multiply the value with the minus j, then only you will obtain the next point. So here, if you want to convert that into the values, here omega n 0 and omega n 2, this will represent 1 and this will represent minus j. Similarly, you go for the second row. Here, in this case, again omega n 0 and omega n 2. So simply you have to multiply the values with 0 and, or not 0, but 1 and minus j. And few of the books, as you are asked about here, omega n 1 or what, in few of the books, they have mentioned that omega n 1 is also there. But as per the standard book Prokias, or forget about the notation over here, you have to remember first value is multiplied with 1 and second will be multiplied with the minus j only. Okay, hope you got the
Okay,
answer,
sir.
Ekta.
So, sir,
I will
in
take
case
this
if we
topic
keep
in
it
more detail.
omega 1,
Yeah, tell.
so sir, in that case, the answers will be different now. If I take omega
Answers
1
are different.
n,
That's why
then I will get some.
no. What happened actually? What happened here? They represent in the notation of 8-point DFT. I checked in the another books. They are representing the 4-point DFT, or that in that case they have modified this, but their answer remains the same, 1 and minus j. So you stick on the answer 1 and minus j. Parallelly, when we solve the example for 4-point DFT and 8-point DFT, I will show you the details of this, how we apply this value and how we convert that. In the next lecture, we are taking 1 or 2 examples based on this DIT and DIF algorithm. If time allows, then I will show you how we have to put the value and how we have to apply that. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Let us continue with this DIF. Another important Radix 2 FIT algorithm, FFT algorithm, called the decimation in frequency, that is DIF in short, is obtained by using the divide and conquer approach. Again, we are using the divide and conquer approach. Just a second. Okay, so again we have to apply the divide and conquer approach. As I discussed, f is nothing but f is equal to 1 by t. So as compared to DIT algorithm, there is a reversal of that. So what, and m is equal to 2, but in DIF the choice is m is equal to 2 and l is equal to n by 2. This choice of parameter implies a column wise storage of the input sequence. Earlier we are doing the row wise storage, but now we are doing the column wise storage of the input sequence. So first of all, splitting the DFT formula into 2 summations. Okay, earlier whatever splitting we have done, compared to that splitting, though now the splitting is different one. Here, one of which involves the sum over the first n by 2 data points, and the second sum involves the last n by 2 data points. Thus, we obtain x of k is represented as sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into, xn into omega suffix n raised to kn plus sigma n is equal to n by 2 to n minus 1 xn into omega n raised to kn. Okay, just a second. Let me unmute to others. Sunil Jakhar. Most of you students are joining late today. Any reason for that? Today still I am getting the notification for admit. From today onwards, you will get the link on your Moodle ID. Okay. So this may be the reason for today's late. Okay, let us continue. One of which involves the sum over the n by 2 data points. So first we start with the sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Second is, here you are taking n by 2 minus 1. So next will be n is equal to n by 2 to n minus 1. So total range is, if I'm talking about the total range, that is nothing but we are splitting this n into two parts. So first split is 0 to n by 2 minus 1. And the second split, whatever we are doing, that is n by 2 to last value, that is nothing but n minus 1. So here first value is 0. We start with this and up to n minus 1. So that is 0 to n minus 1, but divided into the n by 2 equal parts. So 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Second is n by 2 to n minus 1. Now, whatever summation we have written over here, sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. And the second term is x of n into omega n raised to kn plus omega n into nk by 2 sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into x of n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to kn. So this is nothing but the second step, simplification. It is not given in your book. Here, just a second. Okay. Please note down the simplification of this expression. Okay. Here, first of all, what we are doing, here whatever term x of n we have written, this n is replaced with n plus n by 2. I am replacing this term n with n plus n by 2. So just write down this simplification. Replacing n by n plus 2, we get. So first equation remain as it is. That is x of k is equal to summation or sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n omega n raised to kn. But in the second term, as you are applying, n is equal to n plus capital N by 2. So that is n plus capital N by 2 is equal to n by 2 to n minus 1. So when you are applying this value, here x of earlier was x of n. So now we are replacing it with n plus n by 2. So x of n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to k into n plus n by 2. So now here n plus n by 2 plus n by 2. So if I'm taking this n by 2 this side, what happened? You are getting n is equal to 0. This is what we are written over here. And here n by 2, here n is again replaced with, here our range is n by 2 minus 1. Just a second. Here n by 2 minus 1 we are written. So n by 2, so that is n is replaced with x n plus n by 2. So when you apply this value, here you are getting n by 2 minus 1. So again, we are getting the same range in both the summations. X of sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n into omega n raised to kn. In second term, after simplification, the summation or sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Here x of n plus n by 2. Here omega n raised to k into n plus n by 2. After simplifying the summation range, now we expand this term, this twiddle factor. So here it will be divided into two terms. First is omega n raised to kn plus kn by 2. Omega n raised to kn, this first part, and then after omega n raised to kn by 2. Okay, so this, as you notice, this omega n raised to kn plus omega n raised to kn by 2. So again we are doing the expansion of this and writing this notation separately. First term is omega n raised to kn into omega n raised to kn by 2. All of you clear up to this simplification? Because in your book you are getting this direct answer, so better you note down this. Yes, Ekta, please ask the query.
Sir, are we replacing n equal to n plus n by 2 in second term only? Because in first term we haven't done that.
Yes, which term? Yeah, we are doing
Hello?
the second term. Yeah, we are replacing in the second term only.
Okay.
Yeah, Ekta, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Second term we are replacing only, not in the first term. We are replacing in the second term only. Okay,
Yes,
in
sir.
the first term our range is sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So to bring this equation into the similar range, we are replacing that. So after simplification, what you are getting both the summations are now in the same range. N is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Here also sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Okay. Anybody else having any query? Okay, so when you apply this, what happened? You are getting this part to this one. Here sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into x of n omega n raised to kn plus omega n. This term we have extracted outside, as I am showing over here. This term, as you can notice, this term is nothing but, here your summation is starting from n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1, but here no small n variable is there. So this term is independent out of this summation. So we are bringing this summation out of this summation over here. So that we are writing sigma, the second term, omega n raised to nk by 2 sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into x of n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to kn. And this omega n raised to kn by 2 is equal to minus 1 raised to k. In the above expression can be rewritten as. So this value is simplified to minus 1 raised to k x of n plus n by 2. So in this we can say we simplify the entire equation, because now the summation, both summation having the same range, 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So taking this summation outside, 0 to n by 2 minus 1. First term is x of n. Second term is x of n plus n by 2. X of n plus n by 2. This twiddle factor is simplified to minus 1 raised to k. And outside this, we are writing the common twiddle factor, that is omega n raised to kn. Omega n raised to kn over here. Okay, now here the we have written this term omega n raised to kn by 2 is equal to minus 1 raised to k. Let us derive this also. Okay, so here we have written, just note down this simplification. X of k, first term is as it is, sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n omega n raised to k. So this first term is same over here. So now in second term, what we are written, we are bring this term outside the summation, that is omega n raised to kn by 2, which we can write in the simplified form like this: omega n raised to n by 2 into k. Here we can write this omega n raised to kn by 2. So here two terms are there, here k and omega and kn, and another is n by 2. So we can write this like also omega n raised to n by 2 into k. Okay, now when I represent this omega n raised to n by 2 raised to k, if we expand this, here we are getting e raised to minus j 2 pi by n into n by 2. Here these terms are available over here, then we strike out, just write down 2 pi by n into n by 2. Okay, because here n having the value n by 2, so e raised to minus j 2 pi by n, this is a general equation of this twiddle factor up to this. Then after the term is n by 2, so we multiply this term with n by 2 and raised to k. So when you simplify this, you are getting e raised to minus j pi raised to k. So when you expand this, that is cos pi minus j sin pi raised to k, that is nothing but minus 1 minus 0 raised to k, which is nothing but this term is represented with the value minus 1 raised to k. So after getting this answer minus 1 raised to k, the equation is now simplified to x of k, first term as it is. In the second term, for this twiddle factor, we are writing the value minus 1 raised to k sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into x n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to k. All of you clear about this simplification or having any query? All of you got this? Okay. All of you noted this simplification? Okay, let us move to the equation. Now in this equation, yes, your voice is lagging. Just a second. Rishabh, now you check. Am I audible to all clearly? Or some voice lag you are getting? Please let me know. Okay. So now after simplification, we write this equation x of k, whatever equation we got it. Out of that, we simplify this and taking this single summation, n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into x of n plus minus 1 raised to k into x of n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to kn. Now we further proceed for this. We have written this simplification. Now we split or decimate x of k into even and odd number of samples. Now we are splitting our x of k into even and odd number of samples. So even number of samples are denoted as x of 2k and x of 2k plus 1. Here, when we represent x of 2k, the equation is summation or sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n plus x into n plus n by 2 into omega suffix n by 2 raised to kn, where k is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So in this term is minus 1 raised to k. So here initially k is equal to 0. So this term will replace this term with the 1 only. Minus 1 raised to 0, so 1. So we are not writing anything over here. So that is 0 to this term, and x of n plus x n plus n by 2. Here the sign is plus over here. Then for the odd part, x of 2k plus 1, we are writing this sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of n, here minus 1 raised to 1. Now you can notice this. Here I am taking k is equal, whatever you are writing, that is equal to minus 1 raised to k over here. Just a second. Yeah, k is equal to, now we are taking x of k is equal to 2k plus 1. So here you are getting this minus 1 over here, minus 1 into x of n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to n into omega kn by n by 2. So here whatever omega n square, we represent this with omega n by 2 over here. In previous equation we have written omega twice kn, but now we are writing omega raised to kn divide omega suffix n by 2 raised to kn. So this is the even part of the sequence, and this is the odd part of the sequence. This is how we are doing the splitting in the DIF. Now we go for the implementation of this. Now we assign the two new notations for this, G1n and G2n. So G1n is nothing but x of n plus x of n plus capital N by 2. G2n is nothing but x of n minus x n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to n. So here, now after implementation of these two new notations, our equation will become x of 2k sigma n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 g1n into omega suffix n by 2 raised to kn. And second equation is x of 2k plus 1 is equal to n is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 g2n into omega suffix n by 2 raised to kn. So now again we simplify prior to implementation. Please note down this simplification also. All of you clear up to this? Anybody having any doubt? Please let me know. So we will continue to the next slide. Am I audible to all? Am I audible to all? Okay. Anybody having any query, or we should proceed to the next slide? Okay. So whatever G1 term we have written over here. Now prior to, sir, just previous slide once. This one, Ajita. Please unmute and let me know. This one.
Yes, sir, this one only.
Yeah. Yes. You want to note down this or what? Ajita, do you have any query or you want to note down this slide? Okay, tell me what is the confusion? Okay. Okay, so let us move to the next slide. Here, whatever new terms we have defined, G1n and G2n. So G1n is nothing but xn plus x of n plus capital N by 2, where small n is starting from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So for example, we are taking 8-point DFT. So for 8-point DFT, now our n is starting from 0 to 3, because we are dividing the sequence into two equal parts. So first sequence having 4 points, another sequence having another 4 points. So x1n is equal to x of n plus x of here n by 2. Here n is equal to 8. So now we are getting n plus 4, where n is nothing but starting from 0 to 1 to 3. So first term we are applying for n is equal to 0. What happened? When n is equal to 0, you are getting x of n plus 4. So how we obtain the G1 0? G1 0 is nothing but addition of two terms, x0 plus x4. G1 1 is nothing but addition of x1 plus x5. Here you can write n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, and n is equal to 3. Okay, so G1 2 is this, and G1 3 is equal to x3 plus x7. So first equation is g1n. So x1 plus x1n plus n by 2, as we are taking this for a n point DFT. N is equal to 8 over here. So we can write x of n plus x n plus n by 2. Here n by 2 is equal to 4. So we can write the 4 terms over here. For n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. We are getting g1 0, g1 1, g1 2, and g1 3. So g1 1 is nothing but x0 plus x4, x1 plus x5, x2 plus x6, and x3 plus x7. This one is g1 0, g1 1, g1 2, and g1 3. Now we write the equation for g2n. G2n is nothing but xn minus x of n plus n by 2 omega n raised to n, where n is nothing but starting from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Okay, so for 8-point DFT, how we can write this equation? G2n is equal to x of n minus x of n plus 4 into omega 8 raised to n, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. Now g2 0. So first value is nothing but x0 minus x4 into omega 8 0. So omega 8 0 is having one value. So we can directly write x0 minus x4. In previous case, what we are doing? We are doing the addition of the terms. Here we are adding the term addition, x0 plus x4. Now we are getting the x0 minus x4. In second case, g11, we are getting x1 plus x5. But here we are getting x1 minus x5 multiplied with the twiddle factor omega 8 raised to 1. Similarly, for the third term, we are getting x g22, that is x2 minus x6 into omega 8 raised to 2, and the last term g23 is equal to x3 minus x7 into omega 8 raised to 3. Okay, I request all of you to just note down these two slides. First write down the simplification for g1n, and then note down the simplification for g2n. Then we go for the diagram. Please note down these two slides. As you finish, let me know. We will move for the diagram. Okay, so this one is the G1 0. For G1 zeros 1, 2, and 3, these are the equation. I hope you are noted that. And for G2 0 to G1 3, these are the equation. Only you have to remember in the second case, in the second one, we are compared to previous one. Here we have to add the x0 plus x4 means xn plus xn plus 4 in general. Here xn minus xn plus 4 and multiplied with the twiddle factor omega suffix at raised to n. Okay, now let us draw the diagram for this. In this diagram, this is the first stage of DIF FIT algorithm. So here first term is G0. Okay, just a second. First term is G0. So how we are getting the G0 from the equations? G2n, can you explain the twiddle factor? This one. Yeah, this is as per the equation. We are writing omega n raised to n. So here 8-point twiddle factor we have taken. So omega 8 raised to n. So here first is G2 0. So first term is here first term is 0. So I am writing omega 8 raised to 0 for first. Second is omega 8 raised to 1. Third is omega 8 raised to 2. How did twiddle factor come? In the derivation we have discussed. Here this is the general equation. Omega n. In this first term, no twiddle factor is there. In second, after simplification, we already discussed this. Xn minus x of n plus n by 2 into omega n raised to n. Let me show you this slide again. Got it? Okay. Okay, so here first term we are getting as we have discussed xn plus 4. So this G0 term we are getting first is x0. I am writing the terms notation over here only, numbers only. 0. Then second is 4. So 0 x0 plus x4. It will produce the here whatever g I have written over here, that g you have to understand as a g is equal to g1. Whatever in previous equation we represent g1, here these are g1, and whatever h I am writing in this diagram, that is nothing but g2. Only this much modification, because to take the clear diagram I have taken this. But here the notations are whatever g term we are using, that represent g1 from your previous equation. Whatever h term I am showing over here, that represent g2. So don't confuse between this. This is the only modification compared to your previous equations. Okay, so g0 is nothing but 0 plus 4. G1 is nothing but 1. You can say x of 1 and then x of 5. So here you can say 1 plus 5. Third one is 2 plus 6. X2 plus x6. Third and last one is 3 plus 7. So this way we are getting the first terms, that is G1 0, G1 1, G1 2 and G1 3. In second term, we have seen that we have to do the subtraction and then we have to multiply it with the twiddle factor. So to do the subtraction, what we are doing, whatever second term, it is multiplied with minus 1. Okay, so to achieve the subtraction, first term is as it is. In this case, you can say x0 is as it is. Second term is x4, which is multiplied with minus 1. So you are getting 0 minus 4. Okay, after getting 0 minus 4 means x0 minus x4, we are multiplying with omega n0. Here this is a general diagram. In previous case we are taking 8-point DFT. So here you can take omega at 0. Similarly, second case you are getting 1 minus 5 and multiplied with omega n raised to 1. Here 2 minus 6 and last one is 3 minus 7. Okay, so here you are getting x0 minus x4. Here you are getting x1 minus x5, x2 minus x6 and x3 minus x7. Okay, so this is how we are getting G1 0 to G1 3 terms. Here you are getting G2 2 0 to G2 3 terms. Let me here, these terms are nothing but G1 terms, all are G1 0, G1 1, G1 2, and these H terms are nothing but G2, G2 0, G2 1, G2 2, and G2 3. Okay, then after we are applying the n by 2 point DFT. Okay, n by 2 means here our n is equal to 8, so we are applying the n by 2 means 4 point DFT. So after doing the applying the 4 point DFT, what happened here? You are getting the output x0, x2, x4, x6, x1, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, as we have discussed earlier, here you are getting the here you are applying the input in a normal order, but you are getting the output in a reversed order, or in the, you can say, shuffled manner. X0, x2, x4, x6, and x1, x3, x5, and x7. Okay, so basic butterfly computation in the DIF, as we have seen in the previous diagram. Here what we have done, first term is as it is, second term is multiplied with -1, and then we have to add the Tweedle factor or multiply it with the Tweedle factor. So compared to DIT butterfly diagram, here the butterfly diagram is little different. Here we have to take, for example, A is input, B is input, A, B, both input we applied from the input side. At the output side, what happened? A is equal to A plus B. So first is our equation that we have written for odd terms, or sorry, even terms, that is capital A is equal to A plus B. This is just the addition, like over here. Just a second. This one. Xn plus xn plus n by 2. Here I am calling this x of n as a small a, and this x of n plus n by 2 as a small b. Okay, and whatever G1 term, that is A in this diagram, capital A, and G2n, this is nothing but capital B. This is how this diagram is represented. Small a and b are inputs. So here you can say this one is nothing but your x of n. I'm coming to that. X of n. Here this is your x of n term, and this represent x of n. Just a second. This term is x of n, and this is the x of n plus capital N by 2. Okay, so in the first case, to obtain G1, what happened? We are adding these two terms, x1 plus x of n plus n by 2. So here it is represented with the a and b. So that is a plus b are added. In the second term, we have to multiply the second term by minus sign. So we are multiplying it with -1. And then again, we are multiplying both the values, means a minus b. B is subtracted over here, and it is multiplied with the Tweedle factor, omega n raised to r. R is nothing but represent the radix. Okay, so computation complexity of the DIF FFT algorithm. The entire process involves V is equal to log 2n stages of decimation, where each stage involves n by 2 butterflies. So total n by 2 butterflies are needed, and log 2n stages are there. So the computation of the endpoint DFT via the decimation in frequency FFT algorithm requires n by 2 log 2n complex multiplication and n into log 2n complex addition, just as in the decimation in time algorithm. So if we compare this algorithm complexity with the previous one, so in DIT or DIF, both FFT algorithms having the same complexity, they require n by 2 into log 2n complex multiplication and n into log 2n complex addition. So in general, we can say both the FFT algorithms having the similar complexity. Okay, so this is the endpoint DIF FFT algorithm diagram. So first we are doing the n by 2 point. This is what we have done. N by 2 point DFT. This is the first stage. So here n by 2 stage we are applying over here. Then we are performing n by 4. And last one is n by 8. Okay, this is reversed compared to previous one. In previous case, we apply n by 8 over here, n by 4, and n by 2. Means first is the simple multiplication, then 2 stage and 3 stage. But here compared to DIT, the implementation is reversed, n by 2. So here 4 four vectors x0 to x3 and x4 to x pi. This is the first stage of this. The second stage is n by 4. So that is nothing but here you are taking, for example, 8 by 4, so 2. So 2 stage multiplication or calculation of DIF we are performing. At the last, n by 8 by 8 means one single stage operation we are performing at the end to obtain the all values x0, x4, x2, x6, and last one is x1, x5, x3, and x7. So this is the n is equal to n point or 8 point DIF FFT algorithm. This is the first stage, this is the second stage, and this is the third stage. Let me show you the DIT first, second, third stages again. Okay, here you can see. In this case, what we have discussed. Yeah, here we are doing 2-point DFT first. Then we combine the 2-point DFTs and then combine the 4-point DFTs. Here we are doing the n by 4, n by 2, n by 4, and n by 8. Means if you notice the order, that is totally reverse to that. And final diagram here you can see. Here stage 1, single stage operation, 2-stage operation, and here 4-stage operation. So 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, and 2 raised to 2. And but here the operations are totally reverse of that. Here 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 1, and 2 raised to 0. So this is the first stage, this is the second stage, and this is the third stage of endpoint DIF FFT algorithm. Okay, so input data x of n occurs in natural order, but the output DFT occurs in bit reverse order. We also note that the computations are performed in place. As we are performing the DIT in place computations, here same in place computations we are performing. However, it is possible to reconfigure the decimation and frequency algorithm so that the input sequence occur in bit reverse order while the output DFT occurs in normal order. Okay, so this is the vice versa process. If you are applying the input sequence in normal order, naturally you are getting the output in bit reverse format. But if you correct the input in a bit reverse format, automatically you are getting output in a normal order. So furthermore, if we abandon the requirement that the computation be done in place, it is also possible to have both the input data and output data in output DFT in normal order. One thing is we are using the in place computation. In place computation means whatever output we are getting after any operation, we keep that output at the places of the inputs. Okay, so if we abandon that particular requirement, what happen? We keep both input as well as whatever output we are getting. Though our storage capacity requirement will be increased, but what happen? We are able to perform the task, or you can say the input data in a normal order, as well as we get the output in a normal order. That thing is also possible. But remember one thing, to implement that thing, what happen? You require more storage compared to this. Okay. So let us take one last example. All of you try to solve that example. Parallelly, I am taking the attendance because from today onwards, many of you signed from your Moodle account. So it is now this time we are taking the attendance verbally, as well as you have to write your number in the comment box. Okay. So I start with the UI 17 series numbers, and then we go 18. Okay, so let us first write down this example. Yes, anybody unmuted? Hello? Okay, write down this example and try to solve this. Assume that in a processor, a complex multiplier takes 1 microsecond, and that amount of time to compute DFT is determined by amount of time it takes to perform all of the multiplications. How much time does it take to compute 1024 and 4096 point DFT? So here the one simple example is given. If we are taking one processor, it will take 1 microsecond time to perform one complex multiplication. So two things we have to calculate. If I am taking the 1024 number of multiplications are there, 102 point DFT is there, how much time it will take? Another is 4096 point DFT. First, we have to calculate that for direct computation. Second, we have to calculate for radix to FFT algorithm. Okay, all of you try to solve this example, and as you got the answer, please comment. Okay, parallelly I'm taking the attendance. Just wait. Okay, for DFT, or you can say the direct computation of DFT, how much complex computation we require? Simple equation is n square. Okay, so here this is the 1024 for one particular case, means for we are taking 1024. So 1024. So in this case, what happened? Let me write over here. For direct method, I'm writing n into n. So here n square. So here 1024 raised to square, 1024 raised to square, into how much time it will take to for one complex multiplication, that is 1 microsecond. Okay, so if you simplify this, what happened? You are getting the answer 1.05 seconds. Okay, and similarly when you calculate for 4096, approximately you are getting for 4096 means for second sequence 1096 square into 1. Okay, let me write this on the word, that will be much easier. First case 1024 into 1024, it is multiplied with 1 microsecond, 1 microsecond. So your answer is 1.05 seconds. In second case, you have to multiply 4096 into 4096 and 1 microsecond. So your answer in this case is 16.8 seconds. So this is the calculation for, I think this is visible to all. My word file is visible to all. Okay, so now second case, when we are performing the operation with the DIT FFT. Okay, in that case, how much reduction we are getting? Our equation says that n by 2 log 2 n. I'm writing log, okay, log 2 n number of multiplication you require. So if you apply this, your answer is 5.12 millisecond. Okay, and for the second sequence, that is for 4096, if you apply this equation, number of multiplications, or you can say the time requirement is 25.576 millisecond. Okay, so as you can see that for the larger sequence, for the first sequence is 1024, our direct computation require 1.05 second time to computation time. In second case, you require 16.8 second time. But when you perform the DIT, you are getting the time which is in the millisecond range, that is 5.12 and 25.57. Okay, so this much reduction we are getting when we apply the DIT FFT algorithm. Please note down the answer, and as you complete, you can leave the meeting. Okay, thanks all of you. Priyanshi Natha, what is your question? In direct case, we take number of complex multiplication is n raised to 2 or 4n raised to 2. No, we are taking n into n, general case. If you are going for the equation, then it is 4 into n by 2, n raised to 2. Because in that we are calculating the complex term expansion also. So cos and sine, their addition, their multiplication, and their implementation. But this is the general one, means we are performing the DFT with Twiddle factor. So when we are performing the DFT with Twiddle factor, no such trigonometric symbols or calculations are involved. So easily you get the n square. So in general, when we go for the computational complexity, we take the term n square, complex multiplication, and n number of addition, n into n minus 1 number of additions. Clear? Okay, all of you please note the answer and then you can leave the meeting. Okay, thank you all.